Hi everyone, happy Monday. Lamisha here from LamishaSerf-Walls.com, bringing you another Mindset Monday tip of the week. And this week I want to talk about how to stop being a bit of a lazy thinker. Now, I am not criticizing you. I have had my fair share of lazy thinking, but I have also had my fair share of intentional thinking. And I much prefer the outcomes that happen from this intentional thinking space. Now, I've been reading quite a few books recently and have been sort of cocooning and absorbing a lot of information recently. And one of the common themes that has been coming up for me lately has been about this connection to infinite possibilities. Now, I remember before I started this business and before I really started doing this work, I felt like there were certain areas of my life that were just sort of destined to be difficult. Finances were hard for me. My career was hard for me, right? Like certain things at some point, relationships were really hard for me. And so I assumed that those were just the areas of my life that were supposed to be difficult. I was supposed to learn some lessons, but ultimately that was going to be the issue for me, right? Like we all have our stuff. And the thing I know now, looking back at those situations, is that I was simply accepting the status quo. I was accepting that what was unfolding in front of me was how it was always going to be. Now, that is not to be confused with accepting it as it is and just sort of making peace in that moment while still intentionally creating a different future, right? So we talk a little bit about that. What I'm talking about is just assuming that the same thing that has always happened in my relationships, in my job, in my finances, were just going to continue to happen. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Now, I know that there are a lot of other people in the world that are doing the exact same thing. Many of my clients this past week have been sharing with me these situations that they're getting ready to go into. So they have a business meeting or some changes happening at work, or they're going on a trip and they immediately go into the mindset of, oh, I'm dreading it because every time I do this, right? Every time I go on this trip, this happens. Or every time I get into this situation at work, this happens. That, my friends, is a bit of lazy thinking because we automatically assume that what has happened in the past will continue to happen in these circumstances, and then it becomes easy for us to be a victim to that circumstance. But here's the thing that I want to remind you for today's tip, is that we are always connected to an infinite number of possibilities, an infinite number of outcomes that can come from any given situation. And the key is transforming what's going on up here. The key is to step out of that sort of robotic assumption that everything is always going to be the way it's always been, and we have no control, and this is how so-and-so is, and this is how my finances typically are. You have to be able to step out of that story in order to get intentional about what it is that you're creating. Now, all of this mindset work I talk about, the daily journaling, and by the way, if you're not doing that or you don't have some practice, reach out to me. We have got to get something going for you to really start practicing that mindset shift, right? When I talk about mindset practices and I talk about EFT and journaling and all of those things, it's really a practice. It's to practice for those moments when you become triggered. It's to practice for those moments when you find yourself kind of falling down the rabbit hole and thinking that you have no power. That's not true. You have all the power. You just have to assume and step into this world of infinite possibilities. So don't be a lazy thinker. Step outside of that box of what has always happened, what has always been, financially or otherwise, and step out into this presence of, I get to decide what happens. I get to decide how my finances are going to change. My relationships are going to change. This trip is going to change. You have so much more power than you realize. And my goal between now, really in my entire business, but ultimately between now and the end of the year, is to really help as many people as possible tap into that sort of mindset space of infinite possibilities. And the way I'm doing that is by offering these mindset reset sessions. So when it comes to doing this kind of work, I work with clients all the time. I've done, one session, I've done multiple sessions with people. And what I find is that a lot of times there's just a little bit of a click that needs to happen, a little bit of a shift that needs to happen in order to open up all kinds of possibilities. So I'm offering these one-time offer, one-off session, mindset reset sessions to help as many people as I can really get out of this lazy thinking, to give you a mindset shift for a particular area of your life. Now, the first focus that I'm focusing on for this first round is going to be around abundance and finances, because I know a lot of people are feeling limited in that area. And one thing that I can almost guarantee 100%, typically for about 95% of the people that I work with in this type of way, is that within 24 hours or up to a week, right, that there is some form of amazing, abundant shift that happens when we do this kind of work around money. Money is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm doing 5 sessions. I have 5 available sessions for the Mindset Reset session for abundance. So if this is something that you could invite more into your life, if you're looking to invite more into your life, then I want you to post a comment below and I'll send you the link to sign up. Those sessions are $88 for an hour-long session with me, but I'm going to give you a bunch of tools and homework that you can use beyond our session. Now, I'll be doing more of these Mindset Reset sessions for specific topics as they come up, so stay tuned if there's some other area that you want support around. But the thing that we have to really understand is we have to step out of this automatic thinking. We have to step out of this lazy thinking space and really dive into the creation mode that we have. Dive into connecting with all the infinite possibilities. And this is your chance to do that. So if you're interested in the Mindset Reset session for abundance and money, or you're interested in Mindset Reset sessions for some other topic, post a comment below. Let me know what the topic is that you're interested in, and I will let you know when those become available. In the meantime, remember, you are constantly creating your reality based on what you think and feel. And none of us are completely aware of our beliefs and completely aware of what we're thinking on a day-to-day basis. So you have to really be mindful of what practices you put into place and just become more aware day by day of what it is that you're thinking. Remember, don't be a lazy thinker. There's so many other opportunities and potential realities out there for you, and it can be the best possible outcome for you. You just have to make a little shift. So if you're interested in that reset session, reach out to me, post a comment below, and I would love to work with you, okay? So that's it. It's a little bit of a long one for you today, but I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have questions, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.